The 43 arcsec 100 Hayama's non-flying also light theory. What if Einstein saw the world from the light that was flying? What if Hayama saw the world from the light that didn't fly? Exact solution of the perihelion motion of Mercury from Newtonian mechanics. The 9th of June 2020 1836 and 7 seconds article. Abstract. The 43 arcsec 100-year error of Mercury's perihelion movement can be exactly solved from Newton's force balance equation. The centrifugal and universal gravitational balance equation is Gm_mg r squared equals miv squared r. The approximate solution of absolute stationary reference system plus Newtonian mechanics is v squared equals gmr. The exact solution of light velocity reference system plus Newtonian mechanics is v squared equals gm/r. By MPFI's own work, public domain, link. Materials and methods. From the balance formula of centrifugal force and universal gravitational force. Gm_mg r squared equals miv squared r, 1. In the post-Newton approximation. In other words, when viewed from the coordinate system, the gravity balances the inertial force, and it appears that the gravity has disappeared. It means that gravity and acceleration motion can be cancelled out in a small area. However, in order for Ek(1) to hold, the gravitational mass mg and the inertial mass mi must be unequal. In general relativity, the motion in the gravitational field is given by the geodesic curve, and the geodesic equation does not depend on the mass. A geodesic is a metric that is not Euclidean, that is, the shortest path in spacetime. Post-Dirac-Newton approximation is an approximation of a weak gravitational field of Einstein's equation. This is a method of approximating the ratio of the velocity v of the celestial body to the speed of light c, v squared c squared, as an expansion parameter without solving all Einstein equations. However, the mass equivalent, mg equals mi, is a slow approximation for vc, and the moving object has an exact solution of mg not equal to mi. It is known that the mass of any object increases as it accelerates, and no matter how much it accelerates, it cannot exceed the speed of light. In 1901, Kaufmann first discovered as an experimental fact that the mass of an electron increases as it becomes faster. The scale factor of the light equivalence principle that distinguishes the change in inertial mass due to scale, and the change in gravitational mass due to increase or decrease in energy is gamma equals mimg equals cw equals c square root, c squared plus or minus v squared. 2. Thus the ratio of the gravitational mass and inertial mass trajectory of an object free fall does not depend on the object, from the principles called mg_mi that is constant regardless of the object is derived. If the unit is selected so that this constant value becomes 1, the gravitational mass and the inertial mass become the same. Eliminating the Mercury mass from equation 1 in the reference frame of the speed of light, c of equation 2, at infinity. Gamma v squared equals gmr, 3. According to Kepler's third law. For squared gamma equals gmp squared r cubed. 4. Using the orbital period p of a certain planet, and the orbital major radius a, the daily gravitational constant can be easily calculated as gm equals 2p, 2am3 from Kepler's third law. The difference of one revolution revolving from the dimensionless scale factor on the left side is equals for squared, 1. 5. The coefficient for is derived from the solid angle of the entire circumference, and the amount of electricity charged by the point charge is equal to the electric flux of the entire circumference in the rational system, and equal to the electric flux per solid angle in the non-rational system. angle dimensionless quantity if assumed to be not affect the electromagnetic quantity's dimensions. In arcseconds, x equals 180 pi asterisk 3600. 6. Lukang, many thanks to author of original simulation equals Todd K. Timberlake, author of Easy Java Simulation equals Francisco Esquemba, poster's own work, CC View Inherited 3.0, by link. Since Mercury orbits the Sun in 88 days, it means that it has rotated about 415 revolutions in 100 years. Y equals 4 pi 1 asterisk 180 asterisk 3600 asterisk 415. 7. For those who are particular about eccentricity, we obtained v squared from Newtonian mechanics. V squared equals gm r equals gm 1 e squared L 8. It is a good idea to calculate by including such as OGP image, Wiki orbit major radius. The major radius of the orbit, Kidoko Hankei, English, semi-major axis, is a number that represents the parameters of ellipses and hyperbolas in geometry. Results and discussion. The parameter for obtaining this error in the general theory of relativity uses only the approximate solution of absolute stationary reference system and Newtonian mechanics, and the Schwart-Schild solution, and the geodesic equation are useless only by making it difficult. With the average orbital velocity, v, obtained from them, the exact solution of the orbital motion of Mercury can be obtained from the ratio, gamma, of the light velocity, c, and the average wave speed, w, by the light equivalence principle, equation 2. Conclusion. Speed of light, c, equals wave speed, w, gravity weight, mg, equals the inertial mass, mi, become the relative velocity, v, just when equals 0. This is the viewpoint seen from the local inertial system that general relativity says. However, the experience value obtained from Newtonian mechanics is another viewpoint assuming infinity. Without converting the light velocity of this observer, and the wave velocity of the object, from the viewpoint of the light velocity invariance of special relativity, to the approximation, GMR, of absolute stationary reference system and Newtonian mechanics, due to this error, to the approximation of adding items causes the delta function problem at full scale from micro to macro. They point out that most treatments of the problem use the delta function as a way to approximate the objects in the system as point masses. As a result, the self-field, which is the body's gravitational field evaluated at its own place, becomes infinite. In the principle of light equivalence, after converting to reference system of light velocity and Newtonian mechanics first, w squared equals c squared plus or minus v squared. Observer, c viewed from movement, v to the object wave speed that, w, equals object of the watch is reduced to advances how, since handling momentum of energy or light in one paragraph, such as general relativity, there is no discussion of holes. E equals Cp equals Hf equals mgc squared equals miw squared. Equivalent principle of the reference system of the speed of light. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v equals sin vdekpxchu. In other words, the wave speed and the progress of the clock have the same meaning, and the wave speed and the progress of the clock do not change separately. Acknowledgement. Thanks to everyone who parasited on 5ch and argued, the prospect of this paper improved. Appendix 1. General relativity effect by relativity of atomic clock mounted on GPS satellite, and special relativistic effect of post-Newton approximation. On GPS satellites, due to relativistic effects, the time progress differs from the surface of the Earth, so the frequency of the satellite's clock is offset, for .45 E10, in advance and synchronized with UTC, Coordinated Universal Time. Correction by general relativity, redshift due to gravity. Due to the difference in gravitational potential between the Earth's surface and the GPS satellite, the time on the GPS satellite advances faster than the surface of the Earth. Its size is. Correction by special relativity, secondary Doppler effect. Due to the speed of the GPS satellite, 3.87 for km/sec, the time on the GPS satellite is slower than the surface of the Earth. Its size is. The exact solution of the ratio, wave speed, between the atomic clock mounted on the GPS satellite and the clock on the surface according to this paper is. Surface speed of light, c 299,792,458 ms, geocentric gravity constant, gm 3.986 e plus 14 m cubed s squared. Earth radius, are 6,378,000 m. Hyperbolic infinite wave speed, w equals square root, c squared plus 2 gmr. GPS satellite altitude, h 20,200,000 m. GPS satellite orbital velocity, v 3,874 ms. GPS satellite wave speed, wg equals square root, w squared, 2 gm r plus h, v squared. Clock difference in how to proceed, wgc equals 1 plus for .45 E10. 2. Below is an animation of the Sun revolving under the influence of other planets. Everything in the solar system orbits the center of mass. It's rarely in the center of the Sun.